first arrived in Philadelphia, we moved to 16th and Wallace in a small apartment that we shared with two other families. In those days, my parents did not speak English, one word of English at all. So it was extremely difficult to get apartments and to find out what was going on in the city, to open those doors, because we were limited. And most of us were going into the same area. We were following families. We were uniting with families. And at that time, the 20th and Green, 16th and 1, 17th and 1 was the Puerto Rican community.
My name is Anna, and I was born and raised here in North Philly.
I'm Ruben Rodriguez. I came here in 1955.
En 48.
My great-great-great-grandparents actually built the houses on North Street that we lived in.
I've been here, over 40 years.
I grew up in this neighborhood, in this community.
My family lived here for over 50 years.
I lived in this neighborhood since I was a kid.
Yo llegué aquí en 1940.
My family's been here since the 1960s.
I would come here in the summer times to a great neighborhood, which is 20th and Green.
1716 Mount Vernon, raised down here, 50-something years down here. I'm 57 years old.
I was raised here all my life. This is all I know. I was born in Puerto Rico, came here at the age of 1, and this neighborhood to me is my life.
My family came from Wisconsin, where I was born in 1963.
My parents immigrated from Puerto Rico to New York. I was born in Manhattan. My sister was born in the Bronx, and then we moved to Philadelphia, down the way.
When I first came to the United States, I came to Wilmington, Delaware. Then I have a brother who lived in Philadelphia, and then he offered my husband a job in Philadelphia. Then we came to live on 19th Sun Spring Garden, and that's how we started here in Philadelphia.
Originally in Puerto Rico, you had a strategy that developed that everybody recognizes as something called Operation Bootstrap, which was right after and before, in the 1940s and after the establishment of the Estado Libre Asociado, or the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico in 1952. And one of the strategies was to bring agricultural workers in the island of Puerto Rico from the rural areas to the city areas to work in industry. And then the second strategy was to move people away from the rural areas where they worked in farms, in their own farms, and the conversion of that land into large owned sugarcane fields, coffee fields, and tobacco fields. Many of those farm workers that were working on their own plots of land or using other people's land but working that land for their families had to then give up that land and move to either the cities. But then there was a structured, organized system to bring Puerto Ricans to the United States. And in Philadelphia, there was one of the companies that served as the broker for that migration pattern was a company named Freedman. And that company established itself in Puerto Rico, but it worked out of Philadelphia. And it was instrumental in moving Puerto Ricans to work the fields of New Jersey and of Chester, the mushroom pickers, what Puerto Ricans tended to call recogiendo pepas. In Jersey, tomatoes, blueberries, strawberries.
I remember during the summer when we were kids on Green Street, the Pepa bus used to go by. And I remember they would always wake us up because the guy would drive around honking the horn and people would shout out the windows, "Pa la Pepa." And I was just like, what the heck does the La Pepa mean? So one day I asked my mom. It was going out to the fields in Jersey and picking like blueberries, whatever was in season, they would pick. And they asked me, I think once if I went. I was like, no, that's grunt labor. So I never, thankfully I never made it out there.
I just wanted to go for the suntan, but I had to work. My parents wouldn't have it, so I put the little can right here in front of me, tied up with around the waist, a little kind of rope, and as soon as it got filled up, I go and pour it out in the box, and they